Tell me if you relate to this situation. You walk over to your computer, open up your DAW of choice, and you got nothing. You try time and time again to create something nice and catchy, but all you're left with is super cheesy sounding beats. Nothing is working out and you've lost motivation to make music. What do you do now? What's up, geniuses? My name is Adriel Vera. Welcome back to the channel where you learn to show your genius. For someone like me that releases music every month for 18,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, this happens to me quite often. Oftentimes, I find myself making things that I am not super happy or proud of. It can take a bunch of drafts before I come to something that is actually worth releasing. Maybe you've lost motivation to make music because ideas aren't coming as easily as they were, or maybe your music is just not being received as well as you wished it would. Then you start wondering, should I even be making music in the first place? You are not alone, and all musicians go through some sort of loss of motivation, whether that be through creative block or your music not being received really well. And I think those two things are probably the most common reason as to why a lot of us musicians lose motivation. So let's talk about how to deal with both of those things. Number one, overcoming creative block. Creative blocks are barriers to inspiration, and when it comes to getting inspired, we have to think of different ways to get inspired. The only thing is, this is different for everybody, but the way that I go about it is pretty simple. Don't fight it. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but hear me out. Creative block usually happens because of things that are outside of your control. We might have personal problems that we're dealing with, or we have bad habits that are blocking us from getting creative. I know it sounds very hippie, but I truly believe that if there's something going on inside, it's going to be a lot harder to get that creativity to come out. So instead of trying to fight creative block by making half-baked beats, do something that is actually going to help you relax a little bit. Meditate, go on a walk, take a shower, or finish those errands that you've been meaning to finish. Anything that it takes for you to relax yourself and get yourself in a better mental state is going to help you break that creative blockage. I would also like to add that I'm not a psychology major, so don't take my opinions as any sort of mental health advice. This is just things that I go through that I know helps me for sure. But I'd like to think that there's at least some truth to what I'm saying. Typically, what I would do is pick up my acoustic guitar or ukulele and start playing. Even though I'm not an expert at guitar or ukulele, having that physical embodiment of music somehow helps me get those creative ideas flowing. Also, just the sound of acoustic music is very relaxing in general. Number two, getting over bad reception to your music. So what do I mean by bad reception? Although this can mean people leaving mean comments onto your music, this could also just be that nobody's listening to your music in general. I mean, you work so hard on a single song only to release it and get no response from anyone whatsoever. The worst feeling I remember is having a song that I've worked so hard on and thought was so good only to release it and flop in the end. To this day, I still worry that the songs that I release are not going to go well, but to be frank, it's all part of the process. Every musician starts here and you're gonna be at the bottom of the barrel no matter what. And that is okay. Every song that you release is not going to be heard no matter what until you start building up that momentum. And for some people, it might be within a year. For others, it might take 10. The important thing is direction and not speed. If you love making music enough to spend years trying to create a career out of it, then it's not going to matter how long it takes you to get there. As long as you're going in the right direction, you'll eventually make it to where you want to be. I think we're taught, especially here in the United States, that everything needs to move fast. Fast food, social media, and heck, TikTok is one of the biggest platforms now, and it all revolves around 60-second clips. People want things fast, but anything that's worth achieving takes time. All of the artists that you look up to take years to get to where they are, and if they didn't, they're one of the lucky few that was able to get there faster than everybody else. But the thing is, those people that got there faster are the exceptions, and we are not. I've talked about this in my top 3 artist growth videos, which if you want to check out, feel free to click the eye icon up here and watch that video after this video. But besides the point, it's going to take time to get there, and even though you see these people blowing up super fast, for the majority of the artists out there, it's going to take a while. So don't get discouraged if you don't see any progress right away. If you make sure that you're constantly improving on something, whether that be your music production skills or marketing, you know that you're building yourself up into the right direction, and it's not gonna matter how long it takes for you to get there as long as you're building yourself up the right way. So keep on it. Guys, I know music is difficult and it can get very discouraging and unmotivating at times, but as musicians, we all go through very similar struggles. If you want to talk about this stuff a lot more with me and the rest of the community, make sure you join the Discord down below. We love talking to you guys, so feel free to come join us. Be part of the community. If you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like, help out the algorithm, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Stay safe out there, but most importantly, don't be afraid to show your genius.